Believable Lies. And let me turn on airplane mode before I get in. Welcome back. So we are on day 4 of this Bible study that is in the picture of this. But if you would like to get invited, shoot us an email. I'll actually throw it in the chat while we're kind of waiting for people to join. Let's go back in here. All right, so we good?
Yep, it's shared.
James, how are you? Welcome here. What have you been up to today? And did you say that you were in Wisconsin? Is that, I'm gonna try to commit to memory. Thank you for the like as well. So let's get into this. I'm gonna give it maybe another, I don't know, minute for people to fire this up. Just got off of work, yeah, Wisconsin. Mixed martial artist, how's it going? What do you do for work, James? Thank you, appreciate that, mixed martial artist. This is just the tea of the day, but I prefer to be more comfortable if I'm not running appointments. Yesterday I was in a little bit of a dressier get up. You're a driver, okay. CDL, or what do you do? And mixed martial artist, what do you do? Do you work? I couldn't remember if you had a job or not, or if you're in school. All right, so.
Got 4 people.
All right. So I'm gonna start since we got 4 or 5 people here, but you wanna read? You want me to read?
I can start.
Okay.
I'm on the right one. Line number 4, the real faith means no doubts. We often think faith is a switch. It's either on, perfect certainty, or off, total unbelief. So when we have questions or doubts, we panic. We think, I must not be a real Christian. But look at John the Baptist. Jesus called him the greatest man who ever lived. Yet while sitting in a prison cell, John sent a message to Jesus saying, are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else? John had doubts, but he took them to the right person. Jesus didn't shame John. He pointed him back to the evidence of who he was. Real faith isn't the absence of doubt. It's trusting Jesus in the midst of it. God is big enough to handle your questions. Don't let doubt drive you away. Let it drive you deeper into seeking the face of God. Reflection. What is one question or doubt you've been afraid to voice? Take a moment to bring it honestly to God in prayer.
All right. And welcome the rest of you to Bible study. Oh, hail recycling. That's awesome. And mixed martial artist, what are you in college for? And, oh, hall. Okay, hall recycling. Welcome here, Robin. Sorry, that was pretty funny. I was about to be like, hail yeah. Perfect commentary for Bible study. But anyways, so let's go through this, guys. What is a question or doubt you've been afraid to voice? What is your deepest fear? Oh. Next. I have a free pass. Actually, by the way, guys, we are contemplating firing up some coaching sessions. I have this thing called 7 Pillars I do for myself, and I'm curious if anybody else would be interested. I will throw you the details if you're interested. Just let me know.
Daphne's here.
I thought he was being funny too, Daphne. Welcome here, by the way.
Robin.
What's going on, Knife Spark? How's it going? I think it's like faith does feel like sometimes it's got to be at 100%, or it's like it's not working. I'm done with this. I'm checking out, right? but I think like our actions signal what our belief is, right? Like, and I think that it takes faith to do many things. Like, otherwise, you would never go to sleep at night if you didn't have faith that you were gonna wake up the next morning, right? You would just stay up all night.
Yeah.
But we're confident that our heart's gonna work, our lungs are gonna function, our brain is not just gonna become disconnected. Like, I mean, we're confident that employment's gonna be there, the paycheck will show up. I mean, the more you extend the time frame, the greater the faith. Or, I mean, for me, it's like right now, a hard one is honestly like the financial one we are just talking about. So it's just looking at the magnitude of things coming down the pipeline and realizing that these are not things that Kyle has Kyle's skill set is probably not where it needs to be to match what's coming down the pipeline. I'm going to have to pray to get better aggressively, or God's going to have to step in with me into this situation. So look at John the Baptist. Jesus called him the greatest man who ever lived. Yet while sitting in a prison cell, John sent a message to Jesus asking, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?" John had doubts, but he took them to the right person. I think that that's the thing too, right? So we were just also talking about going to the right source for solutions. I'm not going to go to an untrusted source. That's my own personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but and you look at Jesus didn't shame John, and I think people that really care about you, they're gonna care about you. They're not gonna shame you. They're gonna love on you despite the fact that you might be dealing with something that might be embarrassing. It might be just a very huge what would you call it, like a pivotal moment that you really have to decide and make some tough decisions. And I think when you do look at pointing you back to the evidence of who he was and looking for identity of what does God represent, right? And I feel like that's many times where I lack myself the confidence to believe that he's going to show up and do what he says, even though he always has. And more than likely, the weak point is always going to be me. Real faith isn't the absence of doubt, it's trusting. So I do think that it's looking at how has God shown up for you in the past, and that gives you a stronger belief into how is he going to fulfill whatever needs to happen moving forward. So don't let the doubt drive you away. Let it drive you deeper into seeking the face of God. And I feel like sometimes that's like very counterintuitive. We want to drive away from God, whatever that might be. That's kind of the natural inclination. And it might be, I think many times we do need the truth of what God has for us rather than the comfort of what our own way of handling it would be. What was one question? Being afraid to voice, take a moment. So yeah, I mean, I personally have financial obligations that are going to exceed my income, or that do right now. And so I got to get aggressive in solving some problems. How's it going, Russia? Welcome here. What about you? Do you want to touch on any lighter ones?
I was thinking that the question was more in regards to faith.
Well, what lies are
thinking
you?
About out.
Well, thinking about the lies that you believe. I saw when you thought about that, and you're like, I don't know if that's a lie, but I don't know if I want to talk about that.
I'm too delicate to.
Yeah, and honestly, part of the coaching program that I am doing myself is asking the hard questions, and it's also asking the people around you to evaluate you and have them be like, all right, well, do you handle this well? Do you take criticism well? Are you just going to default to this frustration or this anger and shut down, or are you going to be avoidant in what you're doing? I think it's great to, if you have somebody pose that in a non-judgmental way, there's a lot of fruit that can come out of that. So Matthew chapter 11 verses 2 through 6 say that when John, who was in prison, heard about the deeds of the Messiah, he sent his disciples to ask him, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?" Jesus replied, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, and lame walk. Those who have leprosy are cleansed. The deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me."
Where are you reading? Where are you?
Matthew. Did I skip a day or something?
I don't know. You're reading something different than I was seeing.
No.
You're on day 4?
Maybe I messed it up.
Matthew 11?
Mm-hmm. 2 through 6.
Yeah.
You want to read yours?
I feel like I'm in an alternate universe.
What does
It
yours
says,
say?
"And when John heard in prison about the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples and said to him, Are you the coming one, or do we look for another? Jesus answered and said to them, Go tell John the things that you hear and see. The blind see, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised up, the poor have the gospel preached to them, and blessed is he who is not offended because of me." Is that what you read?
Yeah. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble. But I think that the offense is that's a big problem today.
You probably have a different version on
I
that.
do.
That hasn't thrown me off.
I have the NIV. I should go to like the New King James.
Okay. Sorry, I derailed you.
You're fine. So if we go to the next one, Mark, for the New King James, says, Jesus said to him, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, "Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief."
Help my unbelief.
Well, isn't that what we are so worried about, right? I mean, here we are, everything is provided for us, but yet we feel like somehow tomorrow isn't going to take care of itself.
You know,
I mean,
honestly,
that's...
the light bulb in this to me is, where is the phrase? I was like, I need to write that down. It says, real faith isn't the absence of doubt, it's trusting Jesus in the midst of it. Because I do have doubts about the Christian faith, and I feel like I shouldn't, you know?
Well, I think we all feel that way, right? Where it's like because a lot of it feels so supernatural and it's way beyond what we can comprehend.
It is very difficult, and there's what feels like plausible other explanations or things that maybe meld in ways that we don't really understand right now, and there are a lot of questions, but I also understand it's kind of designed that way. We're not supposed to have all the answers because you boil it down to it's a big test. So if you already had the answer to the test, the teacher wouldn't know how you truly performed, right?
If you really knew it, right? Like,
Yeah.
did you, and I think that that's kind of the thing, is it's where, and it's not even performance based, right? So it's not even a test that you can pass or fail. You just literally have to show up and say, I'm willing to believe and give it a shot. That is the test. Yeah. So it's multiple choice, but it doesn't matter what you answer as long as you show up and you get engaged. Please stop all alcohol. Please turn from all sin. Amen. And is that specific for anybody? Year 2026. What's up, Joey Cooper? How are you? Been a while since I seen you. I think that it's just interesting, right? Because the belief that we have in our mind is a lot of what we end up living out in our life, right? So it's indicative of all the other things that transpire. The people that we want to pour time into, we believe is worth it on some level. The people we choose not to is also the same thing. The places we work, the activities, like the vast majority of what takes up our life is these micro activities. So as you kind of go through it, it's looking at the little things that signal, like, when you tell yourself, I'm going to do this, do you do it or do you not? And why? I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I mean, what's your opinion? I think that that's kind of like the thing about maintaining disciplines and forming healthy habits. Not that that necessarily is essential for salvation, but I think it deepens your relationship with God. Like I go through this discussion of talking to my mom, and she's, well, I just don't feel like maybe I'm as close as you boys as I want to be. And I'm like, well, if you want to be, you kind of know how that works, right? Like, I think for me, it's just like business. It's, if you want to generate business, then you set up the opportunity. You make contact, you set up an appointment, you put it on the calendar, you plan an intentional time or activity that is shared. And I don't know, like, it was interesting, the guy talking about building relationships with your children is not, it's basically spelt Time. And
Yeah.
and so I think that it's pouring into the people that you care about, and your time shows your intention spent. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
In some circumstances, I think.
yeah, not that it's only it, but there was a study that supposedly they were talking about, on average, you spend 7 minutes a day intentionally with your child, which is pretty heartbreaking, honestly. Like, we have how many tasks per day that fill up 7 minutes of our time each? And I mean, you guys know that I spend a lot more time with Justice than that. But I also feel like a lot of times that's maybe, what do they call it? If Jamie was here, I think it's parallel play or whatever. You're just spending time in the same area while you're each doing your thing.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's still, like, I think that still counts for something. Engaged quality time is definitely.
It's 50% ratio. No, I'm just kidding.
I would have believed you.
How's it going, Janet? Welcome here. So I don't know if that's interesting, but I think, if they were comparing kids also to arrows, and kids can't go arrows won't go anywhere on their own. They have to be aimed, directed, they're guided by a bow. And, they can either, even in the sense of, they can produce a meal, or be productive, or they can cause chaos and take life.
You're just about the perfect age for that.
It's time to bust out the bow and arrow.
Right in the midst of it, aren't you?
Yeah, I thought it was good, but all right, guys. I'm gonna put my email down here. If any of you guys want to, you can join me for this coaching session. I call it 7 Pillars. It is a biblically faith-based approach to life in a holistic form. So there's my email down there. Feel free to copy it. I think, I don't know, I may do a free round, but since I have 2 members now that are very special to me, near and dear to my heart. But I owe you guys first. So anybody that wants to sign up, I think I'm gonna just make that my offer. So starting out at a whopping $2.99 a month, and life-changing results. Right? I think so. I mean, it's been life-changing for myself, but it's harder with adult children. They don't need you as much.
Preach it, Daphne.
And yeah, I mean, I'm not there yet, although Justice thinks he's certainly an adult, but um, I just personally notice with my mom, I think she has a lot more uh, what would you call it, leverage with us boys than she would think that she does. So what I tell her is just to be intentional with her efforts and say, hey, you know what? You have a telephone. You could do a group text. You could also send out an email. Let us know. Let's do a family meal. Let's plan to go see the oldest brother down in New Mexico. Granted, they all can do it too, but they're busy, harder to schedule time with them. That's true. But I also feel like if the effort is made and there's reciprocity, like all of the relationships that matter to me, I feel like those people in my life, they reciprocate the effort. So, not to say it's perfect, but I feel like, if one person's always pulling the freight, then there's never going to be, um, it's always going to feel like that unequally yoked effort into the relationship. So, like, I mean, for myself, I try to plan ahead of time, but there's frustration that builds for people when there's not this communication of, hey, look, I would love to make this on Friday night, but if somebody else plans something with me, I give them priority, unless it's not maybe a huge priority that I do that activity. But um, I think it's fair, and it's just respecting everybody's time involved. Some of these messages held for review. Oh, I see. All right. Anyways, guys, have a great evening. You ready? I say we do a quick session. All right. All right. If anybody wants to join, we're going to do it after this.
Okay.
15 minutes, maybe 30. All right, guys. Come and join us. No pressure if you don't want to. But anyways, had a great night. John Joe. I'm going to let you pray about that. I don't even know. All right, guys. I love you guys. Get in your Bibles, especially you in the comment sections with inappropriate comments. You need to read a little bit more than the rest of us. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great night, and God bless.